Welcome to Finding the Fire. The fire inside is what drives us. Left unattended, it can burn out of control. In Finding the Fire, Cindy Jacobson speaks with guests, telling stories of trauma and triumph. In sharing our experiences, we find connection and understanding. Join her now as we burn through the walls of separation. Get ready for Finding the Fire, and let's find your spark.
Oh boy, you guys. So, hello. Let me first introduce my guest, Becky from Nailed by Becky. And yay!
Hi, everyone.
So I'm going to be honest with you today. I'm feeling it. I am starting to feel it, you guys. I am usually like the cheerleader, like the voice of positivity. I get phone calls daily, messages daily, like, hey, Cindy, like, I'm feeling down, help me out. And I'm right there. And today I was the one feeling down. I like reached out to a few people. I'm like, I'm not feeling it today. And I even reached out to our amazing podcast producer over here, Sean. And I'm like, Sean, I think I'm going to cancel my podcast today. And he's like, don't do that. Go do some jumping jacks and get on here. So I'm just going to be real with you guys. Like, everything going on in society has got me down today. And I just want to talk about that and what we're doing to kind of combat what's happening right now, and or any positive things you've experienced, any negative things you've experienced, because there's all of it. And I had to like break down and cry today. That's how vulnerable I'm going to be. Okay. I had to let the tears come because I have held it together for my kids, for my family, for my friends, for my business. From people I haven't heard from in years have reached out to me. And today I was like, no, I can't anymore. I'm done. So I checked out for a minute, but got some sunshine and I'm here, and I just want to talk about that. I want to be real about life right now, you guys. I want to hear what we're doing through this crisis, through this pandemic, to keep our spirits up, because there's one aspect of it, right, which is the virus that is very deadly, but also the other aspect is our spirits. And if our spirits are down, like if you look at suicide rates, astronomically, they've been higher than flu death rates. And right now, I've had a family member reach out and say, hey, I had a family member that had a suspicious death last week. We don't know what it was. It wasn't flu, but they're investigating. And, you know, like, this is a real thing. So I just want to hear from you guys, like, what you're doing to stay positive. If you're feeling down, let's be real about it. Let's not brush it under the rug. And what we can do to help each other get through this, and what are you doing to get through this? So
yeah, it's heavy. And I was watching, I don't get on the news, but I was on Facebook and there was an update for Utah, and statistics are showing that since March, the domestic violence is up 60% in Utah, which is so sad because we're all confined to our homes. Let's face it, you know, marriage is hard, family is hard, but how much harder is it now that we're facing what we're facing? Because there's no, you know, like I was telling my husband the other day, I miss our date nights. Like, I miss that so bad. I miss that I could just say, hey, it's a date night. And he knew that meant, like, I got to get my wife out of the house tonight. Like, we're going to go somewhere for dinner. And you can't do that.
No.
And it's just like, we have to just go for a drive or something, because it's just so heavy, just the kids and even just your relationships, because you're not used to being with each other
24/7 on top of each other.
Yeah,
all the
especially
time.
if you're a business owner and you're go and then all of a sudden you're like at home and you're just like, I don't know what to do. Although there's so many things I could be doing to work on my business, but like Cindy today, that's what I was sharing with her earlier. It's like, I'm feeling the funk today too. I'm like, it's heavy today. Like, I don't want to work on my business. I don't want to get any content. I don't want to be on my website. I don't want to do anything today. I'm feeling the down too. Just like, man, it's getting heavy. It's getting just like, and we just got the notification. Now school is completely canceled for the rest of the year for Utah. Sorry to break it to you, Cammie.
Are you serious?
Oops.
Yeah, it just came on the news.
Yeah.
So it's done for this year. So there you go. There's just another positive thing for us today to look forward to.
And I want to like strangle that dog right now, but, and you know, it's sad because I'm like, I love being home with my family. And at first I was like, oh, selfishly enjoying it, right? I'm like, oh, my kids are home. And you know, homeschooling is something I wanted to do for a while, which I never thought I would ever do. But lately I'm like, I wish my teenagers would homeschool. And they never wanted to. And now they were forced to. So I was selfishly enjoying it for a while.
Right.
And all of a sudden today, I'm just like, not enjoying it anymore. And when I say that, it's like, it's so much bigger than that. Like, I love my kids, I love being around them, but I found myself getting snippy, and I don't like to do that. And I was getting snippy with each of my kids because I'm depressed in myself, and it's nothing to do with them, but it's not fair to them that I'm being short with them either.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, how are you feeling over there, Cammie?
Oh man, I am in a funk too. I don't know if it's today or this last week, or I don't know this. Is there a pandemic or something happening? I don't know. I heard there was. I don't understand. But finally, what I've been doing that's helping is my outlet has always been working out and dancing. And my good friend that I used to help with the health club back in Seattle, Washington, we used to help manage a club there. And she's posting these videos, right? And I've done 2 today already. So I've danced for 2 hours today. It's all I can do because it just like nothing is existing except for the music and the shaking. And believe me, girls, whoa, there's some shaking happening. So I guess I'm just
I love it.
There's a lot more to shake for all of us, I've noticed, because I keep making trips to the fridge and the cupboards, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, I'm not hungry. I just want to eat because I'm so sad.
Oh, man. And so today I have my grandbaby in the walker, and she's watching me dance, and my daughter's on the Chromebook trying to do math, watching me. My son's doing something else, and there's a Zoom happening at the same time, and I'm like, this is madness. But for the last week or so, I've been so over my ears in Zoom calls that I've been sitting at a desk at home for so many hours on end. And I just was like, forget this, Jazz. I have got to bust out of this, like, bleh. So I just started dancing today. I don't know. It worked for like those 2 hours. I was grooving.
Dancing's a great way to go about it. I'm glad you brought that up because that is usually my go-to. And I mean, I've done some live videos, dancing it off, shake it off with my daughter. I do it in my house. Like, but today I was like, I am in a funk and I don't want any of it. So I went and sat in the sun, and then I walked the girls down the hill and back, and that helped. But you know, like, humans are made for connection. Oh. Literally, we are made for connection. And right now we are being told no connection because you're going to get sick and get other people sick. And that's just not that's not our general makeup. That's not what
Especially
we're made
as extroverts, man.
I know. I'm like, ah! But what I found was this morning, as I was holding back, I'm like reaching out to these people and saying, hey, like, I'm feeling down today. And they're amazing. And Cammie, you were one of them too. But I was feeling down, and normally I'm not the one that reaches out like that. It's the other way around. But I needed it today, and everybody they stood up and they helped out. They're like, what can I do? Like, you know, what are you feeling? Let's work through that. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to cry. Like, I knew that, but I was holding it back because we're always taught, suck it up, don't cry. Crying's for sissies, crying's for babies, and boys get it worse than girls. But even as girls, like at some age, we start getting that, you know? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to cry. I'm going to let it out because I'm feeling sad right now. I'm sad that I'm missing my friends. I'm missing our lunch dates. I'm missing our hikes. I'm missing all of it. So I'm just going to cry and let it go and move through me. And then we'll be here for another day. But I love that you shared the dancing. I'm saying share the emotion, whatever it is. Don't stuff it. Mm-hmm. Stuffing emotions is the worst thing you can do, whether it's anger or sadness or even happiness. Like, my kids and I
feeling it too. Our poor kids, you know?
Yeah.
So it's okay for them to see us kind of struggle because they're probably feeling it too.
Yeah, they want to be at school. My girls want to be at school, and it's really hard for them, and they don't understand. And it's just like, we have to keep our distance. We're not supposed to go anywhere. Like, they're like, well, I don't understand this. Why this? And they want to be at their friends. They want to be at school. They like the structure. And so I think we need to really understand that, because I've noticed my girls being more emotional lately. And I had to take a step back and, say to my husband, I'm like, you know what? This isn't just affecting us as adults. Like, it's affecting our children, and we need to be aware of that. And, that's why I don't keep the news on or anything in my house either, because I don't want them to hear all of the bad. Like, yes, we need to educate them, let them know, like, what's going on, but they don't need to hear the constant, the news
negative
and the
news.
media. Yeah, because it's scary for them. If it's scary for us and we're figuring out how to process it, imagine what our kids are going through. Like, it's really hard. Their little brains, their little minds their little hearts don't even need to be dealing with all of that right now. So it's just hard.
Like, if their parents have lost their jobs, it's like, what's going on? I mean, 17 million Americans, I was texting, I think it was Cindy last night or today, 17 million Americans lost their jobs in the last 3 weeks. I mean, it is truly scary, even if it's not, I don't know if it's just your parents are talking about it, they hear stuff we're saying, and it's okay, I think, to maybe break down and cry sometimes. So when they feel like that, they know it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. It is okay. Like, emotion is our power. If we suppress emotion, then we have no power anymore. And we're just like zombies going through life being told what to do every day, you know? And right now, like, we're doing what we're told to do to keep people safe. And, eventually it's like we have to do what we need to do to keep ourselves safe and our families and our neighbors, and find out what's really important, so.
Well, our mental health is huge. And I think that's what's being affected really a lot right now too, is like, think about our mental health. Like, our gyms are closed, you know what I mean? Like, we're not getting out and doing those things. I think it's so important just to be getting out and trying to go for those walks and getting that vitamin D, because the whole mental part of it is huge. Like you said, the depression, the anxiety, the domestic violence, like, it's because
the moms losing their crap because they're doing homeschool every day.
Because it's in our head, right? It's in our head, and it affects you. Like, mental is huge. I just feel like it's a big
component.
Yeah, so. It really is.
And who knows? I mean, if we really are, so that's true. There's no school now. It's done. So then can we just go do girl time then?
Yes, let's do that. However, we also have to think of our kids and our seniors, but I'm all for girl time, you guys. Like, in fact, my teenagers tonight, they're going to do something fun. There's all these fun TikTok videos going around. Like, people are trying to keep themselves entertained, and there's a lot of fun stuff going around, and we can go down TikTok all day long. But there's a positive side to it, and that's why kids are drawn to it. And even nurses in hospitals, they're making all these TikTok videos, and they're hilarious. And I want to say, like, our hospital, like, hands down, I think has beat every other hospital out there. And there's a lot of viral videos going on right now. But our little hospital here in Southern Utah has made the absolute best video. I don't care, hands down. It's actually viral on one of the nurse websites too. But, we're just trying to do anything we can to keep our mental health safe. And so my teenagers tonight, she was like, one of her good friends has autoimmune. And so she was quarantined for, 2 weeks. Her friends were all allowed, her siblings were all allowed to see friends, but she was not. And so she was getting severely depressed. And now her mom says, okay, now you've been quarantined 2 weeks. You can see your friends, but now you have to have the social distancing rule of the 6 feet. So they're getting together tonight, and they're all driving, right? They all have their license, thankfully, and they all have a car. And they're going to park their cars in a circle 6 feet apart and sit on their cars and do like these TikTok videos, which, it's something for them to do. It's something for their mental health. And I'm glad they're finding something to do. I'm excited for her and her friends. She hasn't seen her friends in weeks. And also be aware, and this is not my podcast, but it's Cammie's. TikTok is a video that you want to, hi, Katie. Hi.
It's real life, guys.
It is real life. That's what we're all about right now is real life. I love it. Thank you, Katie. But I'm just, find something that you can do constructive, but also be conscientious of what that could allow in and bring in as well. So
there are creepers. I know. Yeah. I'm like not the most
even Zoom. Like Cami, how many Zoom calls have you been on in the last day and a half? We don't even have to say the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Zoom is actually owned and operated by the same people and getting all of our same information as TikTok. P.S. I just found that out. So. Oh
man, that's insane. I didn't know that. I know that like Zoom was getting hacked, and so people are trying to have their business calls with their friends or maybe do a podcast like we are, and then they're able to get in and just do, throw porn on there and all this crazy thing. So all of these, apps and stuff, they're just, unfortunately, they have dangers. So we just have to talk to our kids about not everyone out there is a good guy, because luckily most of our kids are feel pretty protected. They don't realize that, like, bad guys will ask from videos of you because they are fun. And then before you know it, you just bad predatorial behavior.
Right. And let's just be conscientious. And that's, we could go down that all day long, especially with what we talk about on a different podcast. But especially now that we're all in our homes and we're all using technology, we're all using these apps, we're trying to entertain ourselves, we're trying to keep busy. Like, be very cautious, you guys, with what you're doing, because once it's out there, like, who knows who's getting access to it, and just be careful what you're doing.
Well, and I've never let my kids play on the computers before. My girls aren't, I don't let them sit on my laptops. They don't have Kindles. They don't have iPads, nothing like that. My 18-year-old does, but my little girls are 8 and 10 and they don't. And so now that I'm letting them, they have to get on and do their homework every day, or they're, logging on for school. It's like, I've got to be constantly watching. I'm seeing them going into even just the school chats, the Google chat that's with their classmates. But it's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be working on your schoolwork right now. So I've already ran into problems like in 2 weeks that are just, they're not dangerous things, but like even with my Facebook Messenger has popped up, and one of my girls has like started answering my people that I'm like on this group messenger with, of these nail techs that are in the UK and Australia, that I am on a big international, I am an admin on a big international Facebook page of licensed nail techs that are, like I said, it's international. And my daughter is like answering, and they're going, Becky, the one message, she goes, are you day drinking? And I was like, what are they talking about? And I was like pulling up my messenger, and it's like got all these things. And my daughter is a horrible speller. So it's like all the stuff, like you have to try to interpret it. And they're thinking I'm drinking. And I'm like, that is my daughter. She is at home supposed to be doing her schoolwork. So she got busted. I was like, nope, no more, not unless I'm home. So boy, let me tell you, we have to be careful and watch our kids, what they're doing, because it's easy to just say, nope, go do your schoolwork, or go get on the computer or whatever, but we really need to be careful of what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
A lot of
changes businesses are changing. Like, their schools changing, our businesses are changing. Like, what's new with you, Becky? Like, you have like this super busy, like you're the nail superstar of the universe, obviously. And so what is it different for you now? Like, I'm sure, because like to get an appointment with you is like months out, because you're like the best of the best. Like, what is now for looking like for you?
Well, Southern Utah has not shut down our salons yet as of today. That could be coming down the wire, but the stress of homeschooling and all that stuff was really getting to me. It was just like so overwhelming. And every client that came in obviously was talking about COVID, and just I was sucking up all their negative energy all day long. And I finally got to the point where I was like, hey, I got to have a couple weeks off. And there are a lot of salons that have freely closed down themselves because if you're talking about the social distancing and yada, 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 really, can you do nails when you have to stay 6 feet away from somebody? No, you really can't. Even though I was wearing gloves and a mask and taking all those precautions and totally sanitizing everything after they left and between clients. But I just had to take a couple weeks off. So I do have clients scheduled back at the end of April and going forward with there. But like I said, then if our health department turns around and says, like many counties have done in Utah, and pretty much most states have already done that. I'm surprised Southern Utah hasn't yet. Then I'm going to be out longer. So it is scary because it's a lot of money, and it's just scary, like everyone else. Like, you know, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to keep your rent, paying your rent where you have your business at? How do you pay that when you don't have any clients? You know, you don't have any income coming in. And I can't get any help because I don't have an employee. So I've tried to file for the different things. And because I do not pay employees, I can't get any help. So it's hard, but I'm not the only one. So I know
we're all in the same boat right now. We're all just trying to stay afloat and keep small businesses, which was the backbone of our country, right? Is grown off small businesses and sweat and tears and dreams and everything else. And we want to keep that alive. We don't want to shut down and outsource everything to Google and Amazon, which is what it feels like is happening. You know?
Well, 26 years in the nail business, I've never had to worry about anything like this. If I ever didn't want to work, it was my choice. It wasn't because of something like this that was happening, you know. So it's really hard when it's been your livelihood and it's been your dream and you've worked so hard on your business to have this. And the other thing is I sell online classes to other nail techs around the United States. And if they're not making any money, they're not buying my products, they're not buying my clothing line, they're not buying my online classes. So I don't have other revenues. I had many other revenues, but if they're not working, they're not buying from me either. You know, so it's eek.
So we have just a few minutes left, and we've talked about a lot of the negative going around right now with the Rona. So let's kind of try and spin it. Like, I want to add a few positive stories because I always like to leave it on a upbeat note, as you know me. So I know the other day, and this was twofold. I went grocery shopping to one of our local grocery stores, which I love, and I'm going to name them Harmon's. They were our local grocery store here in Southern Utah when I was a kid, and I've been here for 30 something years, and we didn't have any other grocery stores. And they've adjusted and they've shifted so well with the changes, with, you know, all the big name stores coming in that could sell less than them and whatever. And they've shifted and they've changed and they've done a great job keeping up. So they've always been like, and of course they're a little pricier than some of the lesser expensive stores, which I don't want to name, but the ones that are all over the world, literally. And usually I would go in there in the last few weeks with all this going on, I would go in there and people were not as scarcity mindset. And I'll just say that scarcity mindset as some of these other stores. And so I went in there and I was having a great day. I was shopping for Easter and Easter dinner and just like talking to my grandma on the phone because I can't see her in person because we're social distancing. And I see all these people and they're looking at me a little bit odd. And because I'm just like upbeat and I'm happy and I'm talking to my grandma and I'm kind of dancing with the music as I'm pushing my cart down the aisle and just in my own world, you know, in the beginning. And then all of a sudden I'm off the phone and I start paying attention to all these people paying attention to me. They're like, wait, why is she so happy right now? Because we're scared. They have gloves and masks and everything else. And I'm like, oh my goodness, people, like, it really hit me hard. And then the other fact was I couldn't have my grandma in my home for Easter, and I always have my grandma over for holidays, and it really hit me hard. And so, but they saw me being happy and dancing down the aisle, and they're like, wait, maybe I don't have to be so terrified. Maybe this isn't going to kill us instantaneously. So we only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left, but if you guys have something positive to throw out there, I'd love to hear it. Because I like to end on a good note. So
well, and I mean it is good, and it's letting us look inside ourselves. We're seeing new sides of our children. Like there is lots of good to this because I'm even reevaluating. Do I want to go back to work in as many days of a week? Like it's nice to be able to be in your home and see, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just a different feeling, but it does really make you reevaluate things. I feel like, you know.
I think it was kind of needed too, reevaluate
a slap
life.
in the face, like, hey, you guys are all
don't
too
take
busy.
it for granted. Yeah, don't take it
and
for
like
granted.
you can keep dancing.
calm down.
Dancing.
Yeah.
We love dancing.
Time to prioritize, right?
Prioritize.
And my word for the year was balance.
Like,
and I'm like, wow, way to slap me right in the face, balance. In like, I didn't know it was going to come at me this full force.
Thank you. What are your last words, Cammie, before we sign off here?
Yeah, I just agree with Becky. Like I'm always so out of balance with my time and stuff. And this has really just been like, well, you're home now and I'm an extrovert. And I just think the first thing I missed was like time with you and my friends. And let's just remember that as soon as this is over, let's dance it up.
Dance. People.
You've been listening to Finding the Fire, where we are finding deeper connections through sharing our life experience. Being placed in foster care, losing a child to SIDS, and a husband to suicide, Cindy has turned her story into the fuel that drives her. To be featured as a guest, go to findingthefire.com. Cindy is a former NICU nurse, a foster parent, has started a nonprofit, helps others, and supports her family by selling real estate. To find out more, go to involvedcommunity.com.